ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय।
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय। सहनावतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। शांति शांति शांति। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय। शांति। Good evening. The sun is so bright. Billion-watt bulb. The sun in the sky is a billion-watt bulb. The unidirectional source of energy. Right? The source of energy for the entire universe. Nothing happens on earth without the sun. They say without the sun in 2 days the earth will get frozen. Life will become extinct. That's why we do Surya Namaskar and worship the sun. Their life happens because of that being there. Right. So please see page number 100 for today's quote. The first quote in the page. We must grow according to our nature. Vain is it to attempt the lines of action that foreign societies have engrafted upon us. It is impossible. Glory unto God that it is impossible that we cannot be twisted and tortured into the shape of other nations. I do not condemn the institutions of other races. They are good for them, but not for us. What is meant for them may be poison. What is meat for them may be poison for us. So one man's food is another man's poison, said Mahatma Gandhi also. He did not use the word meat. He said one man's food is another man's poison. See, I think I have told you, different nations have different national ideals. Jati Adarshal, national ideals. For most of the countries in the world, the ideals are to become an economic superpower or to become a military superpower. Whereas in India, our national ideals have always been, in the next quote Swamiji was saying, renunciation and service, through which you attain oneness with the divine. Okay? So spirituality, spiritual goal actually is the goal. We say dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The last goal is freedom, mukti, liberation, kaivalya. God realization, self-realization. There are multiple names for the same attainment. So that is the goal here in our society, our civilization. We have never set, this goal as to become an economic superpower, to become a military superpower as our goal. We have a larger goal. The Swami is saying, glory unto God that it is impossible that we cannot be twisted and tortured into the shape of other nations. But what we have been trying for the last 7 decades is we are trying to twist and torture our society also in the model of the West. గత 7 దశాబ్దాలుగా మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాం అంటే భారతదేశాన్ని కూడా మన స్టాండర్డ్ నమూనాను మర్చిపోయి వీఆర్ ట్రయింగ్ టు ఇమిటేట్, వీఆర్ ట్రయింగ్ టు ఏప్ ద వెస్ట్. We have brought all these modern ideals from them, but they are not suiting our country. What is the proof? Let's see, Mahatma Gandhi advocated that actually, Gram Swaraj, create an independent, self-sufficient village. Let the people live in villages. Then how actually the fruits of development will come to people? He said there will be few industrial clusters where mass production of goods will happen and goods will be given to people living in villages, and then there they consume that. So he asked the policy makers not to urbanize or industrialize India in the model of the West. Not that we don't need urbanization and industrialization, we do need, but not exactly like the West. It doesn't suit a country like India where millions live in villages. Today you just see how much of migration has happened from villages to cities, and cities are so crowded and these traffic jams, and you don't have solution to this problem. You may construct few flyovers and overbridges, but it doesn't really solve it. So the civic authorities, and they're struggling a lot how to ease the this congestion. How much trouble you take to travel in this traffic, how dangerous it is to drive a two-wheeler. 5 seconds, 2 seconds, you are not alert, you are met with an accident, right? So that's why, anticipating all these problems, the father of the nation suggested that let the people live in villages, decentralized life. Okay, they will have a peaceful life. Many people in today's society, after 3 to 4 hours, their day goes only in travel. Every day they are spending 3 to 4 hours traveling, crisscrossing the city. So much of pollution, smoke, they inhale, and they fall sick afterwards. Then you need more money to pay your medical bills. It creates further anxiety and stress. This is a hot life. So they anticipated that this would happen in India. So to prevent this, they suggested a different model, but the people who came to power immediately post-independence, somehow they did not like the idea of Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation. They thought this man is anachronistic, obsolete. Inadanta patataram manishi anukunnaru. Ien daggara unnanta paata chintakaya pacharam. But whereas the father of the nation was ahead of times, and kalanikanna mundu unnadu. All right, you all have studied the biggest problem in human society today is we have not figured out the next step in evolution. You all have studied Darwin's theory of evolution, right? Gurtunda kasta Darwin siddhantam? Amoeba nunchi life has evolved from simple life to complex life to most complex, that is human being. The first life that appeared on the planet is amoeba, is a single-celled creature. So then actually complexity, and then ultimately this human species has evolved. It took nature millions of years to evolve a life of this complexity. ప్రకృతికి కొన్ని మిలియన్ సంవత్సరాలు పట్టింది మనిషి లాంటి జీవిని తయారు చేయడానికి ఒక అమీబా నుంచి. Alright, we are on the top of the pyramid. Now Darwin has not said what will happen after human being. He said from simple life to complex life will evolve. Okay, it has evolved up to human being. What next? If you go by Darwin's theory, human being will transform into some other species in few million years. He has not figured it out, the next step. But our rishis have said it, they have figured it out. From human being onwards, the evolution takes a different course. It is intellectual and spiritual evolution. At an animal level, it's not possible for intellectual and spiritual evolution. A dog cannot read a good book and enjoy. It can't enjoy a piece of music. It is organically limited. ఒక కుక్కకి ఇలాంటి ఆనందాలు సాధ్యపడవు. At an animal level, cerebral capacity లేదు. But few humans are endowed with the cerebral capacity, okay, to evolve into perfection, like a Buddha, like a Vivekananda. So it's all intellectual and spiritual evolution is possible. Now what are we struggling for? Roti, kapda, makan. The only problem with the human species is once roti, kapda, makan is available, so you don't know what else to do. Santush nahi baith sakte hum. Roti, kapda, makan mil gaya. You compare yourself with your neighbor. He is living in a bigger house. Let me have a house bigger than what he has. Right? నువ్వు చక్కగా పుస్తకం చదువుకోవచ్చు. Nicely you can read a book. Nicely you can meditate. Nicely you can pray. Nicely you can do japa. But you can't. You don't. That is the problem. So he has more than what I have. Let me have more than what he has. So you enter into race and competition. You have 100 crores. I have 50 crores. What I do, I compare myself with you, and I also want to have 100 crores like you. I don't even know what to do with my 50 crores, but I covet your 100 crore. So this is what is happening because you have not figured out the next step in human evolution. From human being onwards, it is intellectual and spiritual evolution. This is the biggest problem in the world. For example, you live in a forest, a lion. Suppose it got its food for that day. Okay? It attacked an animal, it had eaten to its fill. కడుపు నిండా తిన్నదనుకోండి సింహము. ఆ తర్వాత ఇంకో జంతువు వస్తే దాన్ని ముట్టుకోదు అది. రేపటికి స్టోర్ చేయదు అది. ఓకే? It just lives, is happy, it's in itself. But the human being problem is once the minimum necessities are till minimum necessities are satisfied, you struggle for that. Once the minimum necessities are satisfied, you want more and more. In the process, we are destroying ecology and environment. ఈ మనిషిలో ఉన్న ఈ దురాశ వలన మనం ప్రకృతి నాశనం చేస్తున్నాం బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ గ్రీడ్ ఇన్ హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్ బికాస్ యూ ఆర్ నాట్ ఫిగర్డ్ అవుట్ ద నెక్స్ట్ స్టెప్ ఇన్ ఎవల్యూషన్ దో యూ హవ్ సీన్ దీస్ పీపుల్ లైక్ దమ్ దే నెవర్ కేర్డ్ ఫర్ మనీ దే నెవర్ కేర్డ్ ఫర్ వెల్త్ దే నెవర్ కేర్డ్ ఫర్ పొజిషన్స్ ఆఫ్ పవర్ they just lived the simplest life possible, but you revere them, you worship them, you venerate them as avatars, as Mahatmas. But those great people you don't want to follow. That's the problem, okay? So it's a long story, but I've cut it short for you. Thank you. Nice evening.